So welcome to the tutorial on our Power BI dashboard. So this is the dashboard we are going to be rebuilding. All right. So as you can see, this is actually a retail sales performance dashboard for a retail store. All right. So in this dashboard building, we are going to be calculating several KPIs. Like we're going to be calculating the average sales per customers, the total sales growth percentage, total profit, profit per customers, profit margin, and total customers. All right. So let's just get started. Now, remember, this is actually, we are actually making use of an already clean data set. All right. Remember that we actually built a project. We actually performed a data analysis project using Python. All right. So if you have not seen that tutorial, I will be leaving the link to that tutorial in this video description. So you can actually go ahead and actually check it out. All right. So we are going to be using our save clean data set from our data analysis tutorial using Python. Okay. So now this is the data set we are going to be using. All right. So as you can see, it is called the clean up data set. Okay. So in the Python class, this was what we actually saved the data set with, cleaned up sales data set. Okay, so this was what we saved it with. All right, the link to that project is actually added to the description of this Power BI tutorial video, so you can just go ahead and actually look at that also. Now to start, let's just go ahead and open up our Power BI dashboard. All right, so this is our Power BI desktop dashboard building. Okay, as you can see, we can actually import Excel file. We can import from the SQL server. We can also paste a blank table or try various data sets. Okay, sample data sets. So Power BI have their own various sample data sets. So as you can see, now when we look here, you will see that we are actually working with a CSV file. All right, we are working with a CSV file. So there is no space for actually including a CSV file from here. So what we have to do, we just have to go to File, click on Get Data. So when you click on Get Data, you can see we have a lot of options here at the moment. So what we have to click on is we click on the CSV, text/CSV. Now this will open up our computer. So we click on where the data set is saved. So like we mentioned, we are working with this cleaned up cell data set. So all we have to do is click on it and then open it up here. So as you can see, this is already opened up, right? Now remember, I mentioned that this is actually a cleaned data set. Okay, it is actually a cleaned data set. All right. So because we already performed a full analysis on this data set in Python, so you can check out the tutorial on that. So we are not going to be doing any transformation on this data. Okay, so all we have to do is go ahead and load this. So we allow it to actually load up. Okay, so as you can see, it has actually successfully been loaded into our Power BI. So as you can see, this is actually the various data we actually have, the various columns we have in our data. As you can see, we have the category, we have the city, country, customer ID, customer name, discount, discount impact, and the rest of them. Okay, now this is actually the dashboard we are actually building. So this is the dashboard we are actually building, this particular dashboard. Now, the first thing we have to do is let's go ahead and achieve this retail sales performance dashboard. Okay, so to do that, we go ahead and click on Insert, Text box. Okay, so you can actually go ahead and set, this is where you can actually go ahead and tweak your text and all. So let's say I want to make use of Georgia. And let's say I want to make this 14. Okay, so let me just take this out here and let me just make it Georgia 16. So so that this is retail sales performance dashboard. So retail sales performance dashboard. Okay, let's go ahead and just move this a bit. Move this up a bit. Once later. Up a bit. So I think this is looking okay. Georgia 16. Let's make it a bit bigger. Let's make it 18 and see how it looks like. Okay, I think it's looking perfect. All right. So we just have to move this here. Move this here. So the next thing we need to achieve is this. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on insert. Then we insert shape. So go ahead and click on rectangle and let's move this here a bit. But before then, let's go ahead and customize our canvas. So to do that, we go here and click here. So canvas setting. Let me take it to the middle. Okay, so we can actually see what we are doing clearly. So let's just go ahead and resize this to suit what we are doing. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we go ahead and we have to go ahead and change this to white. So let me just remove this. So let's go ahead and change this to white. So to do that, what you have to do is just click on the shape, then click on the shape. So we click on style, then we'll click on white. All right, so as you can see, that has been successfully achieved. Of course, I have to bring this down here. So we have to add another shape, another rectangle. So let's just move this up a bit. So we have to move this to this. Okay, so let's see the color for that. That's also white. So we go ahead and do the same thing. We click on the shape, then shape style, then we turn it to white. Then we have to move this text up to stay here. Okay, so move it up here, middle. So we have to bring that to front. So we have to go on formats, then we bring to front. Okay, so we move this up now. Okay, so I think that is looking perfect. That's looking perfect to me. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is let's go ahead and calculate our KPIs, right? But before then, I think I need to take this here a bit. Just a bit. Let's format and bring this to front. Control Z. So before we do that, let's move this down. So let's format, then we'll bring this to front. Then okay, that didn't work. So I think we have to just let's bring this to front too. Okay, so I think that works. All right, so the next thing we have to do is we need to add another shape. Okay, let's go to insert, then shape. So what we are trying to achieve here is this divider, right? Is what we are trying to achieve here. So we have 1, 2, 2 dividers. So we just have to make this so small. Okay, then next thing we have to do is, of course, we have to change the style and make it black, make it white rather. Okay, so make this as small as we can. Then we'll copy and we'll paste it. Okay, so I think this one has to be bigger. It has to be bigger. Let's check that again. This one is bigger, almost the same size with this, and this is the smaller one. Okay, I think this has to come out a bit. If I'm not mistaken, it has to come out a bit. So let's check it there. Okay, this is quite big though, so we have to push it out, make it bigger. Okay, I think this is making a bit sense now. Then the next thing I have to do is I have to make this a bit smaller. Then we'll make this here. So I think we have finished setting up the interface. So the next thing we have to do, let's go ahead to calculating our KPI, right? So the first thing we have to calculate is the average sales per customer. So to do that, we go ahead and go to home. Then we add a new measure. So the new measure we are adding is average sales per customer. Okay, now to calculate that should be equals to, we have to divide the sum. Okay, so we have to divide the sum of sales by how to look for sales. So this is sales right here. All right, so that means divide the sum of sales by, we have to divide it by the distinct count of our customer ID, right? Now to do that, we have to close this. Then we'll do distinct. Distinct count. Then we have to look for our customer ID, which is this. Okay, then we'll close this and we'll put a comma. Then we have to add a 0 then. So let's go ahead and right click. So as you can see, we have successfully added a new measure, which is average sales, all right, per customer. Okay, now the new measure we have to add is our total sales, all right. And to calculate our total sales, all we have to do is we need to use the function sum. Okay, we just have to calculate the sum total of our sales, which is going to give us our total sales. Now to do that, like before, we go to our home and we add new measure. So total sales will be the name of this measure. Total sales. This should be equals to sum. Okay. Then total sum of sales. Okay, so this is sales. So I think that is all. So that will give us the sum of our sales. So as you can see, we have successfully added our total sales. Okay. Now we need to add a new measure. And the next measure we have to add is growth, sales growth percentage. All right. Now we add new measure, sales growth percentage. Sales growth percentage. This should be equals to, let's declare a variable and call it current sales, and let's say this will be equals to calculate the sum of sales the sum of sales. Have to close this. Then year. Okay. So let's say this will be equals to maximum so let's say year. Okay. So let's close that. And let's declare another variable and let's call it previous year sales. Previous year sales. Previous year sales. And let's say this will be equal to, let's calculate the sum of sales. Calculate sum of sales. Just similar thing we did with the current sales. Sum of sales. So we have to close this and let's say year. This will be equals to maximum year minus 1. Minus 1. Okay. So return right. Current sales minus previous sales. Previous year sales. When previous year sales will be 0 times 100. So let's go ahead and run this. So as you can see, we have actually successfully calculated our sales growth percentage. All right, so we can go ahead and close this then. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to go ahead and start building. We have to go ahead and start building for the sales overview, right? So to do that, we have to insert text box. Insert text box. Okay, insert text box. Let's call this sales overview. Text overview. So let's change it to Georgia. And let's change this to 14. Well, let's make it 16, 18. Okay, let's make it 16. Then change this to Georgia. So let's move this here. And let's make this smaller. Okay, sales overview. So let's go back. So the next thing we have to do is insert a shape. Okay, now before we insert a shape, let's do this. All right. So this is, let's go ahead and insert card. So card was right here. So Wiser, multi-row card. Now we are looking for a single card. So this is actually multi-row card. You can actually use this to actually visualize different KPIs, all right, in a single card row, right? But we are looking for a single card, okay? Because we want to visualize a single KPI, all right? So we just go here and what are we visualizing? Let's go here and drop total sales. Okay, the total sales, right? Okay, so we have to go here and collards value. Let's change this to Georgia. Okay, so let's reduce this. Okay, now let's change this to none. Let's set it to auto. 0. Then let's change this to none. Okay, auto. Okay, I think I prefer it with no decimal. All right. So the next thing we have to do is go ahead and label. Let's change this to Times New Roman. Then we go ahead and bold this. Okay, I think 12 is okay. So we have to go ahead and change this to, go to properties, then change this to black. Go to effect. So let's change this to black. Okay, so we need to change the text to white. So this is white. Colored value. Let's change it to white. Okay. I think it's looking better this way. Okay. So we can actually move this here. Let's move this up a bit. Let's move this a bit down. Let's move this down a bit. Okay. Then we can just go ahead and copy and duplicate this. So let's check here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. This is a bit, let's make this a bit smaller. Then let's push this a bit here. I'll move this a bit here. So let's duplicate and see if this will be okay. I think this is perfect. Okay. So for this, we have to show our average sales. So all we have to do is remove this from, just bring this down here. So this is now showing our average sales per customer. Okay. For reasons I feel this is too bold, then we'll have to go over here and reduce the size of the colored value. Okay. Then we can also reduce the size of the label. Let's make this line still visible that way. Okay. So just looking really small and why. Okay, I think that's because, let's go ahead and, that's because this was not split in full. And that's, okay, I think that's more perfect. Okay. Okay. So then we have to remove this and also remove this, so have to copy. Then let's just visualize total sales, so just visualize total sales. Then we can also paste them. Okay, then we can move this here a bit close, move this a bit, then move the spaces between. Okay, so this should come maybe here, so come here a bit, space between both. Okay, so here we can have our sales good 8%. Okay, can move this here a bit. So the next thing we have to do is sales by region, right? So sales by region. So let's go ahead and cluster bar charts. Okay, cluster bar chart. So that should be sales by region. Sales region. Okay, so I think sales by region. Okay, and this is making, this is coming up a bit, so let's move this a bit up, right? Then let's reduce this and see. Okay, now let's go ahead and customize this. Let's go ahead and customize this bottom of this. So we have to go to customize. So let's turn on our zoom slider. So let's go to column. So let's go to show all. Okay, then let's go to west. So let's turn this to black. Let's make this a bit light. Then let's make those this. Then we can make those this. That's different shades of black. So we'll still come back to actually we can actually come back to that to do more stuff, but let's just leave that as it is for now. So grid lines, let's make those dashed. Okay, and let's increase the okay. I think it's okay. It's too obvious. Let's leave it at 2. Okay, so let's go to general and see what we can do there. Sales by region, so we can just add West leads and South lags. So I would also like us to change the font. Let's change the font. So let's make this Georgia. Let's for the Y, let's also make those Georgia. Then let's go to general and title black. Take this here, here, here. Does it look better? I feel it looks better in the middle. So we turn this to Georgia. Okay, and let's reduce this, increase to 15. No, I want to reduce to 12. 13 looks good. Okay, then I think I have to, one thing I always like turning on data labels. Okay, so this is looking much better. So let's go ahead and increase that. Then we can go ahead and take this down a bit. So I think this is looking much better. If you ask me, this is looking much better. So let's see the next thing we have to do. So the next thing we have to do is sales by year. So for this, we are going to be using a line chart. Line chart. Sales by year. So okay, then year. So this is looking okay, but the space between those two. Hmm, So let's move it down a bit. So let's just add, let's go to general and effects. Let's add shadow to this so you can actually differentiate better. So as you can see, the canvas color, background color, is actually contrasting with the grass color. As you can see, the grass color here are white and the canvas color is actually white, so it's kind of difficult to actually differentiate, right? So let's go ahead and see how we can change that. So let's go to canvas setting, canvas background. Let's see if you can turn it to something. It can be white, but let's just go to more colors. It can be white, but not white. Okay. So I think that's okay. So I think that's looking to think about this. Let's just explore more colors. In about blue. Okay, I think I prefer this. So I'll just leave it at this. So this way the diagrams and everything is very, very visible. So check what we are doing again. Okay. Make the same size. Yeah. Let's move this a bit here. Let's move this a bit. So there should be enough space between this ones. Okay, so let's move this to align with this. Then we can move this to align with this. Okay. This we can, let's look to properties. Now let's go to effects for this and let's off background for that text. The background for that text is off, then we can actually move this up a bit. Okay. Look further apart, so we can take this down a bit. Then let's take it this way and let's highlight this tree. Then let's move them up a bit. So then we can actually move this up a bit. Then let's increase the size of this a bit and let's take it up a bit so it won't be okay. So let's customize this a bit. Let's add data labels. Then we have to change the color. This is black. Okay, properties. Let's go to visuals, lines, color. So we have to change this to black. Okay. Okay. And let's meter round level. I think I will just leave it as it's a board. I think this is looking better. So sorted. Okay. Round meter. So I think I'll leave it that way. Looking better. So this effects person. I just turn this to black. 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 Okay. I think this is coming up now. I think what we have to do is let's go to title. So let's change this to Georgia. We'll change this title to Georgia. Okay, I think it says IE. Okay, so let's go to visual and value. Let's change it to Georgia. So let's do the same for the y-axis. Values into Georgia. Okay, so the last thing we have to do here is adding our shadow. So to do that, let's go to general effect and corner shadow. Let's turn on borderline to see. Okay, now I don't think this is nice. So the borderline just puts a black line here at the border, up and down. Not looking good to me, so I'll just go ahead and turn it up. All right. So let's go ahead and turn on our zoom slider. Okay, so slider label. So let's go ahead and off the sliders label. So let's turn slider y-axis. So I think this is looking okay to me, right? So we are done with the sales overview axis. So the next thing we are going to be working on is the profitability overview, right? So to do that, let's just go ahead and insert our text box. It's looking too big. So let's go ahead and move this here then. So let's call this profit overview. Profit overview. So let's change this to Georgia for uniformity, and let's do this 16. Have to highlight, then change it to Georgia, then 16, and so 14 and say. Okay, then so the next thing we have to do is remove the background, right? So let's go to effect, background color. So background color, no, Page of up background. So that leaves our text without a background. So the next thing we have to do is move this here. Move this here. And okay. Take that a bit up. Okay, wrong. Okay. What's the size for this? Just looking 16, so we have to turn this to 16 to bring uniformity. Make the 16 and we'll increase this. Increase this. So okay, so I think this makes sense now. So the next thing we have to do is calculating our KPIs for profit overview. So let's say the KPIs we have there. We have our total profits, profit per customer, and profit margin. Okay, so to calculate our total profit, all we have to do is just add a new measure. We're already in our home, so we add a new measure. All right, now total profit will just be sum of the total profits. Okay, now let's do the new measure. So let's call this total profit. This should be equals to sum. Okay, so let's look for our profits. Okay, so we'll have to close this, and that gives us our total profits. All right, so the next we have to calculate is, let's check that out, total profit per customer. So to calculate profit per customer, what we have to do is let's go to our home and new measure. So we call this profit per customer. Profit per customer. So let's say this will be equals to dividing sum of profit by distinct count of customer ID. Sum of profit. So let's just call our data. Just look for profits. Okay. So that will be by distinct count of customer ID. So we'll look for our customer ID. Okay. 0. Close this. Okay, so let's go ahead and create this. Okay, so this is successfully done. So let's see the next KPI. Okay, this should be profit margin. Okay, so to do that, we do our new measure. Okay, so let's call this profit margin. This should be equals to divide its margin. Divide well, profit point profit. Okay, and let's this sum no So we use the wrong function. We're looking for sum, not substitutes. This is sum of cells. Okay, and we have to close this 0 and close it. All right. So this will be our profit margin, all right? So we just all we needed to what we did here was dividing the sum of the profits by the sum of sales, okay, to get our profit margin. Okay, so profit margin is already used for a column. Okay. Let me just add an end margin. So we are going to still rename that, but so have we? I think I don't know when we created this, but let's just go ahead and delete this from the model. Okay, so we can now go ahead and okay, then we can now go ahead and rename this. Okay, so that should be it. Now let's see what else we have to do. So we have actually calculated the total profit, the profit per customer, and profit margin. Okay, so what we have to do is go ahead and visualize it. So the thing we are going to be visualizing first is profit. Okay, the regional profits contribution. All right, so which is profits by region. So to do that, we clustered bar chart. Of course, we have to visualize our KPIs. So for uniformity, we can just simply come here and copy this and paste it, then move it to here. So the first thing we are going to be visualizing is total profit. So all we have to do is move our total profits here. Then we can copy and paste. So the next thing we are going to be visualizing is profits per customer. So we'll move this here to customer. Okay, so we have to move this. To still not be enough. Make this a bit smaller. So let's just move this. Trying to maximize space. So let's move this too. So let's move this here. Okay. So let's move this too. Okay, this is entering the order. This space. So let's copy and paste this and see. This is still falling apart. Let's reduce the space here. Let's reduce the space here. Let's take this folder a bit. Okay, it's falling apart. So let's just reduce this a bit and see what we have. We I think this is better. Now, the next KPI we are visualizing is profit margin. So we have already calculated that. So what we just have to do is, okay, so let's just remove this. So let's copy and paste this here. So let's just profit margin sit here. Okay. Okay, I think something is wrong with the profit margin. So as you can see, this has been successfully updated. Now, the next thing we have to do is, let's check this out. So the next thing we have to do is we have to plot a clustered bar chart to actually look at the profits per region. All right. So to do that, let's go here. So okay, so we already have our clustered bar chart here. So we are looking at its profits by region. So profits. Okay, let's look at total profit by region instead. Total profits by region. Okay. Total profits by region. Let's look at profits by region. Okay. Let's take this out. So it is profits by region. So now let's just do total profits by region. Total profits by region. So let's check what we have here. Okay. So I think this makes more sense. Total profit by region is making more sense. So we just have to go ahead and customize this. Now to start with, let's just go ahead and format. So let's go ahead and turn this to Georgia. Can also turn this to values, then Georgia. Okay. Then the next thing we can do is let's go ahead and turn on zoom slider. Then let's go ahead and dashed. Okay. Then let's turn on our data labels. Then we can now go to general. So let's title, let's make this Georgia. Okay. Then so let's make this 213. Total profit by region. So we can say West leads, okay? West leads, Central lags. Okay, let's make this 12. Okay, then let's go down to effects and let's change the color of our bars to border. Okay, sure. This up, take this up. Colors, show all. So we can take this to black. 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 I'll make this lighter. Okay. Just so okay. I think this is all we actually have to do for here, and this is looking good to me. I don't know about you. So what I have to do here, I love doing here is adding shadow. Okay, so we have to make this suit this, so have to move this a bit closer, and we have to take this up and take this down. And let's make this bigger here. So take this here. Okay, this is looking cool. So let's look at the next thing we are supposed to work on. So a table showing state, region, total profit and total sales. Okay, now let's see how we can achieve that. I have to go on table. Okay, so the table shows states, region. So we have to look for states. Okay, this is states. Okay, it shows states, it shows region. Then it shows total profit and total sales. Total profit, sorry, and total sales. Okay, so this is looking cool. So I have to reduce it here. Okay. We do some customization with some grid, classical guidelines. Okay. Then there's preset default values. Let's change values to times. Should take that to 11. Okay. Color black, definitely. Turn its color. Okay. Turn its background. Okay. Let's play with the alternate background. Let's make the alternate background darker. Okay, now I think it's better this way. No. We should just leave it where it was. So the next thing we have to do is okay. Alternate background. Let's go to general. Let's go to on. So let's say states region. Total profits. And total sales. Total sales. Okay, so let's just go ahead and turn this to Georgia. Uniformity matters a lot. Let's reduce this to no. Let's reduce this to 12. 11 is looking okay. Let's see 12. I think I'll leave it at 11. So let's take this here. Take this here. Take this here. So let's leave it by the side then. So I think basically this is all we have to do for this. So let's go ahead and add shadow. Shadow central effects, tone shadow. Okay, so I think this is basically what we have to do for here. This is looking so big. It's only 220. So this is let's see how we can move this. It's then that's on. Total sales. No. Total sales. Wow, we're trying to create space. This is sales growth. Sales growth, and we can eliminate this. Trying to create space for everything we are doing. We need to okay. We can also move this a bit. Then we can move this thing. Okay. So we can do the same for this. Just copy and paste this thing. Let's move it here. Then total profits. Total profits, okay, has given us, so we can eliminate this. We can copy and paste this. Then we can do profit per customer. Then we can eliminate this. Then we can do, let's copy and paste, then profits margin. Then we can eliminate this. Okay, so I think we are making space for this now. Okay, this looks okay to me. Let's move this here. Move this here, then make this a bit smaller. So if it's okay, same size. And make this a bit smaller. Smaller. Size. Let's move this here. Okay, so we successfully made out space for this, so it's looking good to me. So let's move this here. And let's make this a bit smaller. No. Okay. This is coming along, you know. It's coming along, so let's take this thing and let's also touch this a bit, like moving it a bit. So it's coming along. Good. So the next thing we have to be looking at is customers overview. So to do that, we add a text box. Take it up and adjust it right here. So let's move this so we can adjust it from here. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove background. Let's off it. Then let's go ahead and call this customers overview. Go ahead and turn this to Georgia. Go ahead and turn this to 16. Then go ahead and make this. Okay, this is coming along. Now, the only KPI we are calculating for the customer overview is the total customers, okay? And to do that, we just have to calculate the distinct count of the customer ID, okay? Now, to do that, let's say you measure Okay, so we'll call this total customer equals to sum distance count customer ID. Okay, so the sum function only accepts a column reference as an argument. Okay, so let's see where the error is coming from. Okay, sorry, we don't use sum. All right, so we just say the distinct count. So, when you're talking about distinct count, it simply means you're counting the distinct customer ID in the customer ID column. So, there is no need to sum it. So, you're just counting the different customer IDs in the customer ID column. So, that is where they do. Let's see if this works. Whoa, so that worked. So, the next thing we have to do is let's go ahead and visualize. Can just copy the, just put this at the middle. Okay, so we can just total customer. Okay, yeah, so let's take this down there. Total customer. Whoop, so that worked. It worked. Now let's see the next thing we are doing there. So customer ID by region. Customer ID by region. Okay. So let's use this and see. Okay. Okay, so customer ID by region. See. Okay, so here we are doing the count of region by customer ID. So we just have to move this down here and move this down here by region. Okay, check. West, East, count of customer ID by region. Don't use that. So why? Customer ID by region. I think. Let's check this out. Let's see. Count of customer ID by region. Oh. Okay, let's see. Total customer. Let's total customer ID. There's the system. To start bar charts. I think that's perfect for this. So have to adjust this. So let's increase this and take this down. Okay. So I think this is too by the side. Let's reduce it a bit here. Let's move it down. Okay, so if we go ahead and customize, so return this to Georgia, close this up, then for our XYZ axis, return it to Georgia to Georgia. Okay, so go ahead and on our zoom slider. So with this with this zoom slider. Then let's go ahead and on our data labels. Grid lines. Let's use paste dashes. In general, this title should be title should be Georgia. Georgia. So let's just leave it that way. Okay. So what about effects? Effects should be shadow. Okay, so properties. It's a visual. Like so. It's a general. Okay, we are looking at changing the colors of the bar. Visual border. Frankly, models can be a bit tough, but properties, position, visual. I think that should be under visual. Let's take this KPIs here. So choco on the west black east the black center the yes this. Okay, so I think that's looking perfect to me. I don't know about you. So let's see. The next thing we have to achieve is okay. Now let's see. Next we have to achieve is the states. The states. So we are going to use a map. Now we use a shape map, field map. Okay. The shape map. So what did we do here? So that's states. Okay, so let's move states into this. Where use states. Okay, states. There we have it. Okay, so what if we can use the state? Okay, good. So let's go ahead and customize this. I can customize this. So legends. Okay, second nice. Yes. Looking cool. Still have to do some touch to this. So map setting. Okay, this is states. Channel. I just leave it as because using colors, so change it to black. Black. Then east can be black, west can be black. Okay. It's region, region is legend. So I think it's looking good to me. It's looking good to me. Don't know about you. I think we just have to show this is suitable. And let's go ahead and what else do we have to do? So let's go ahead and add shadow to this. Mm, Um, effects, the shadow. Okay, so well, I think this is looking great. It's looking awesome. So a little bit touch. So if you have gotten to this part of the video and you're not following my channel, please do it to follow my YouTube channel and follow me across all social media handle. I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn and YouTube. So please follow my social media handle. So your subscription, your likes, your comments is actually what gives us the motivation to keep dishing out insightful content. Thank you so much. So the next thing we have to do is we have to add those sliders for easy user experience. So we have our region slider. So to do that, let's go ahead and okay, new visual. So remove this for slider. Slicer. Let's do this. So let's add our region to this. Let's see. Okay. This is what it looks like. Region. Just have to just have to format then bring to front. Okay. Well, let's see if there's anything we can do here. Slicer setting. Let's see it's horizontal. Okay. I think we leave it vertical here. Mm, the selection is on already. Let's show all select options. Okay, this is not looking bad. Mm, slicer header. It's on this one. The slicer header. Slicer header. Journey. Showing okay. See that. Let's change this to Georgia. Okay. Effects. I think we don't have to do anything with the effects, so we just have to change. Let's turn this to Georgia. Turn this to Georgia. Now let's reduce this to 11. Okay, so I think that is it. Let's just go this way. Has to be here. Okay. Okay. So we can simply copy and paste this here. Copy and paste. Okay. Then let's see segments. Okay. Then we can still paste this in. Paste this here, then this will be ship mode. Ship mode. Okay, so this is ship mode. Okay, so I think this is it. So I think this place, our slider as this is looking too congested. See what we can do about that. Okay, then we can now see how we can increase this a bit here. Just move this place a bit. It's a video. That's how we're going to do this. See how we can take this down.
down a bit. Um, of our slider header. I think we should leave the slider header on. Right, so let's do this like line. Let's leave this at 9. Okay, let's also leave this at 9. Okay, so slider settings of one keep off in the slider header. Use promise Georgia. We haven't done that. Okay, values, still values Georgia. Because that's 9. Because that's 6. Okay, let's copy this one. I think this is it, right? This is it. There's always 20 of sales. So I see what this has a background. We have to eliminate the background in this text. That's why it keeps messing up our entire book. Okay, and eliminated. It's like having two backgrounds in, so we can mix this in now then. These are like it. Yeah. Option of this. Sales. This is really done. I'm almost done with this tutorial job. Yes. Okay, so this is looking perfect, right? We just have to move this back. So this is looking great. It's looking perfect. So I think the only thing we have left is this, right? So to do that, that is just a text, okay? It's just a text, it's not a filter. Do that, I just text box. Then I moved it here and so I just moved it here, then I remove the go to effects and turn off background. Then I call this sales.
So this was, hey, so just go ahead and highlight this now. And let's turn this to Georgia and let's turn this to 14. Just make it 16, let's see. Okay. Let's just take this a bit down and take this here a bit. So let's move this and centralize this. Okay. Move this and centralize this. So let's copy this and paste it then. Okay, now. So let's move this here. Copy and paste this then. Move this and let's call this overview. So there's how you can actually use a filter to do this so that this is responsive. So once you click on overview, it gives you the sales overview. And once you click on sales, it gives you the entire sales for the year, for each year. But for this, it's just more like a text I did here. So nothing much. Okay. So the next thing we have to do is we have to insert a shape and insert a shape here. Okay, so let's insert a shape. Okay, let's move it. Alright, move this here. Let's copy and paste of them. Let's take this here. Okay. Now we have to type. Let's turn this to black. Then overview. Let's move it here and highlight and turn to white. So this is it. It's a color. Light and turn to white. So why is this here? It's because I have to push this here. And we'll take this here. Then we'll format into fonts. So that's that for that. So for this, we have to move it a bit further. Okay, then let's move it closer to this one. To make sure it's perfect. We can move it down. Okay, so we change this to this. Okay,
To change this to change this to this. And make sure it aligns. Okay, we can just move this down a bit. Then we can move this. So there's one thing I noticed. This text actually has a background, which should not be so. So we just have to turn off the background. Go to effects. Okay, turn off background. Okay, so then we just have to move this. Make sure it is centralized. So so that's it. So we have actually come to the end of the tutorial. So the next thing we can do is we can actually go ahead and export this as PDF. Okay. So this is our dashboard. All right. So this is our dashboard. So if this is the first time you see my video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Your subscription, like, and comment is actually what gives us the motivation to keep dishing out insightful content. Thank you so much for coming to the end of the Power BI tutorial. See you in the next video.